Okay, so here we are. We're back. Ready to. Oh, that synth is too loud, isn't it? And pull that down. Alright, so today's video is entitled Exiting the Illusion. And that is that's going to be our goal today. And in this, hopefully, we're now going to be able to sort of sit outside of time entirely, basically, and tap into some eternal wisdom and to remind ourselves of our true nature. So the first picture that we're looking at now is a depiction, basically, of the realm of Maya. Is a Sanskrit word. That's what we're going to be focusing on. It's important to have a little bit of an understanding of etymology and the words and their origins and where they come from. But basically, Maya refers to an illusion. It refers to something that is created by our mind, but isn't actually real. It's also just, it's a beautiful image, and it's like, well, what's going on there? There's a flute player and a goddess, and because in the goddess, and so the flute this is a reference to us, basically. We are humans, we are mind. We are alive and sentient, and we're playing this game. We're all playing this game, right? And what are we playing that game inside of? Well, that is the realm of the goddess. That's Maya. And you can see that around her are lots of forms. There's snakes on her shoulder blades. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot going on in this world. But the truth is that the world of Maya, again, this material plane that we're in, is illusory, meaning essentially that it isn't the reality, that the physical world is basically unstable would probably be the best word for it. And looking out at the political sphere and the, national conflicts and all this stuff, that pretty much, that confirms, this world, it's unstable. There's a lot of instability, but it's not to be feared so much by the wise. Maya, the key word, part of that word is the M-A. And when you see the M-A, is in like matter, material, matrix. Ma is everywhere. Ma, it's mom, it's mother. It's the original reference. So it's saying that this material plane is the realm of the mother. This is all our mother. This is all her. We're surrounded and encased in this womb. And the reality that we experience is something that our minds actually generate. And that is something that a lot of people don't know, is that the reality you're perceiving now, that you're existing in, is generated by you. It's your generation. There's lots of generational conflict. There's lots of generational. And so the next picture I want to show is a sort of like a mandala, and it is a depiction of what is also another Sanskrit word called samsara. And the rough translation into English of samsara is like wandering or moving in cycles and circles. And as you can see, that's what's depicted. It's some sort of cycle. It's a wheel, right? So this is the cycle of existence that we find ourselves in. We find ourselves moving through cycles. That's just what it means to be a human. To exist in the natural world is to exist and go through cycles of growth and decay and regrowth and healing and hurting and all of this, all of the things that we go through. But again, you'll see that there's some sort of being governing this cycle. As beautiful as it is, it's a depiction of in the Hindu Buddhist tradition, they see existence as having 9 different realms that you can incarnate into. So this is a depiction of those realms, but I don't want to get too lost on tradition, because again, so going back to this being that we're looking at as depicted here, it sort of has this demonic, sort of evil, sort of quality, right? And this is the thing you have to be wary of when you look to the ancient traditions and things like Hinduism and all of. I don't want to call out any one tradition. I mean, because they're all traditionally exclusively created by males, by men. So that's something to be aware of, because this being really that's governing this whole cycle is just our mother. It's the Mother Earth. And in these ancient traditions, there's so often a demonization of this feminine thing, this feminine aspect. So samsara is through, if we want to look through the lens of these traditions, it's associated with suffering. Actually, it is seen as kind of a bad thing. And because it's basically telling us that our souls are trapped in these cycles, right? I mean, that's why there is that demonization, because it's like, yeah, we're stuck, So the goal in the eyes of, again, these traditions was to escape this, to somehow liberate yourself from these cycles. And that is something I believe can be done, is what I'm saying, is that you can experience yourself as free, as liberated from suffering. And we're going to talk about that. This liberation is known as moksha or nirvana. I mean, those are 2 separate words, but sort of meaning similar. Again, I don't want to get too caught up in the tradition and the language and all that. The important thing is the message that, hey, how many don't we all feel like we're sort of stuck in these cycles in some way? We get up, we sit in traffic, we go to work, we sit in traffic again, and then we come home, and then we eat and we sleep and we repeat. And so there's misery, there's a misery that exists, and pretending like that's fine, pretending like it's, we just normalize it, and in that normalization, there's a defeat. There's not that light that clicks on and says, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Do I have to do this? And if we empowered ourselves and we decided that we want to live a better life than the one that has been prescribed to us, then we would say, no, we don't have to do this. And we would take the actions that extricate ourselves from suffering, from the cycles that make us suffer. But first we have to perceive that we're actually in those cycles, that it's a part of us and we're a part of it. And that is true perception. This is what this video is about, is perceiving the whole of reality, the entirety of this universe that we are, and saying, what can I do? How can I make my life better? How can I achieve liberation, moksha, nirvana? What do I do? How do I get there? You have to kind of just flip things on their head and say, well, this world, it's all about survival. It's all about instinct and self-preservation. And those things aren't bad. We need those things to survive, but have we mastered those things, or have we just let them master us? And then we're just, in this cycle. But the one universal instrument of our the inability to grasp wisdom is time. So standing outside of time, getting outside of time, coming back to the eternal, and that's what we're trying to do. It's not easy to do, There's always going to be the push and the pull, but there are ways. And so I say, get into spirit then. And I think what is a powerful way of getting into spirit is to understand that you are a unique expression of this one eternal consciousness that we are. There's no one like you. No one has your blueprint. No one has your DNA. Only you. And that little switch that you can turn on and say, I can do anything. I have freedom. I have liberation. I can stand outside of time. I can perceive reality clearly. I can understand my universe. And in that, I can live and create the life that I want and that I deserve. I will not be lost anymore. I will not let myself be governed anymore. I will free my mind. And that's what this is about, is freeing your mind. That thing in you that is, like I said, generating and creating this experience has to get free. It cannot be imprisoned. And it will not. But it has been. Right? It's like everyone says, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. How do they get you? They put you in an illusion. But with this mind, with this gift that we've been given, we can pierce the illusion, dismantle it, see it for what it is. Again, I talk about like looking at life square in the face, looking at death square in the face, And from that, truth comes. It's like they say, the truth always comes out. It does. But you have to want it first. You know? A lot of us are just sort of distracted, I think. You know, there's so much here that pulls on our energy and entices us and promises us things that are outside of us. And I'm not saying that you can't enjoy this existence and that, you know, not everything the world offers is evil, but you have to know that you're playing a game. You know, you have to know that a game is being played. And until you do, then you get played by it. You know? So make yourself the chess master. You know? Put the pieces where they belong. Because they're all in the wrong places, and, you know, you got kings moving like queens and queens moving like kings and pawns doing stuff that only bishops can. I mean, everything is distorted. You know, there's so much distortion that we don't get, that we can't see things clearly anymore. So we need to start seeing things clearly and having true perception of reality, of the truth that is, this is all one thing. This all connects. There isn't any separation. That somehow this is all a part of me and I am a part of it. So you have to give a shit. You can't, like I said in the last video, you can't let life slip through your fingertips. You have to reclaim you. Because, like I said, you're lost. So find yourself. That's the thing, people are always saying, oh, I found myself. I went to Europe and I found myself. You don't have to go to Europe to find yourself. You're right here. So you might as well work with that. Stop trying to run away and eat escargot in the streets of Paris. No. Come home. Okay. I think that's it for today. Thank you for listening, and once again, these videos are not intended to scare or demonize. It's just to create an awareness of the illusion and to create a bridge that can extend you through and beyond whatever it is you're going through. But I can't do that for you. But I can help you start putting the pieces back together. Maybe just hearing this, getting this message, maybe put a few pieces where they belong. And yeah, I mean, there's so much of this content that's like motivational, and that's great because we all need that motivation to change, to evolve. We always need things that, you know, kind of shake us up and say, hey, fix this. I don't like this. We all need that from time to time. I need that from time to time. I might get a dose of that later. I don't know, you know? I only know here and now. And here and now, I'm happy to be talking about this. I'm happy to be creating a bridge outside of time. Because that's what we need. That's where freedom is. We need to free our minds. So thank you, and we'll be back.